Once again, I'm on. Man, man, oh man, I got an episode and a story to tell y'all this week. Now, I'm not gonna even hold you. This is either gonna be my best episode or my worst episode. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. Just know we are potting through the wire right now, fam, and you're probably listening like the voice sounds familiar. I think I know who this is. I'm pretty sure I know who this is, but it's sounding a little different this week. Yeah. Circumstances, we had to hit a quick audible on this episode. We are currently experiencing some technical difficulties, to say the least, to say the very least. And this is going to be an episode where, I'm probably going to have to, for the first time in a long time, say as least as possible, but just know your boy is back. Your boy is better than ever. I'm more motivated than ever. Man, I'm just trying to tell you, man, it's just like the power of the tongue. There's so many titles I have for this episode, by the way. Like the power of the tongue. I'm saying we might through the wire. What I was getting ready to say, because we have a limited, I don't want to hold y'all up too long. I definitely got 7 topics. I'm going to try to get through this as fast as possible. Because listen, ain't no editing this week, fam. So check this out. All my Spotify, viewers, if you on the Spotify realm, you probably going to have a different version of this than everybody else. Ayo, man, WYLLMATIC, that is me. I am he. I am your host. Sometimes I do a lot. Sometimes I do a little. Sometimes I do the most. You already know what it is. Sometimes I'm shacking the post on y'all. Sometimes I'm Ghost. Sometimes I'm Tommy. But you can find me in the... Ayo, man, check it out. I don't even really know how I want to start this episode. It's been a... Let's start it like this, Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for, stopping by. You could have been anywhere else on the internet. This large platform, this large cesspool is what I like to call it, of misinformation, lies, speculations, false reports. Your boy caught a case, man. Let's just get to it. I can't even hold it. I can't even hold it off. I caught it. Listen, man. Sometimes in life, life can. How can I say this? We all have the ability to make choices, but ultimately, it is our choices that make us. Is the best way I can put it. I caught a nice little case and all that. Listen, man, mine a setback for the major comeback, man. I'm not down. I'm not out. And I'm not gonna get into the specifics of what this case entails at the very moment, but just know I'm cooking, I'm podding, I'm writing an episode. If it's not episode 37, whenever that episode comes, man, y'all already know how I give it up, man. I'm gonna come on here and give y'all the real, and I'm gonna give y'all the real spill on how I feel about the situation and just basically how everything went down, and just what the end result is of this minute obstacle that is currently placed in front of me. That is where we get into basically why I'm recording and the audio is sounding different. Now, like I said, this is going to either be my best episode or my worst episode, because realistically, I don't really necessarily feel like this is going to be the worst episode as far as the audio side of things. I'm definitely not editing this week. It's been, listen, your boy out on bail, fam. Come on, man. I'm Tupac of the podcast right now, fam. I'm out on bail, fam. My body hurt. But you know what I said? I said, yo, man, I can't go down. I can't go down for no 2 to 3 weeks. I can't afford to stop now. We just getting started, baby. This is the E.B.C.G. This is episode 36. And I feel like that was enough of the intro, right? Because I'm going to have to self-edit on this joint right here. Like I said, I do not have my tools. My laptop has been destroyed. temporarily. Like I said, mine is setback for the major comeback. I'm definitely, I definitely plan on coming back bigger and better. And realistically, fam, like I said, this still might suffice. And we gonna see how it play out. And I might end up, uh, changing over. I might have to do a quick audible on the podcast. Listen. As you can clearly tell, I'm completely disoriented. I'm drained. Listen, my mind is in 1,000 places. I have 2,000 things going on at one time. But guess what, fam? Guess what, fam? I said I gotta come on here and give y'all an episode anyway, cause I had it written down. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't leave this shit sitting in the cold. We got so much to talk about, man. So much to talk about. I wanted to touch on the power of the tongue before I get started, though. And I do want to say that it is very, very much it's a real thing. It is a real thing. The things that we speak and the words that we say, and really just the energy that we put out, into the universe in general. And right now I'm getting on my, I'm getting into my philosophical, cause it's been a philosophical 72 hours for your boy. You feel me? I'm sitting up in the cell. Listen, man, they got me up on. I'm laying up on wooden, dirty. The prison industrial complex, and it's so ironic. On my last episode 35, we spoke about several different instances and situations that involve the prison industrial complex. We spoke about, or the prison industrial complex rather, right? We spoke about the tax stone situation. We spoke about the Casanova situation. I actually got a chance to talk about it with some brothers inside of there while I was in there. And we're going to get into just the education that you get behind the wall, man. Jail is definitely an interesting place, to say the least. I definitely met some interesting characters that, I could honestly say I probably never will forget. That's just the kind of, environment that is ultimately, You're putting a bunch of, for the most part, 90%, African American males. It was definitely some females in there too, turning up. It was motherfucking girls in there fighting each other. Listen, man. Listen. Yeah. Just like that, your actions, or your words could become actions at the end of the day. And that was something I had to kind of sit with, man. Like, how can I have just been talking about this on my last episode? I'm literally sitting in here. I had to tell them in there about that. We was in there chopping it up. I definitely had the lit cell and all that. I was in there on my Malcolm X, on my Malcolm Pac. You know what I'm saying? Holding court. We in there busting it down. It was definitely a dude in there that was like some interesting characters in prison, man. Like I said, to say the least. Not even in prison, in jail, and prison, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of those individuals, unfortunately, are still in there and are probably on their way to prison as I speak. Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about cases and different, situations and how you could easily make choices. But ultimately, it is our choices that will end up making us in the end. And that is a jewel I left them with inside of there. And hopefully that is a jewel I will leave you with before the end of this episode. Write it down, jot it down, put it in your membrane, fam. Episode 36. Man, I had to come and pod for y'all, man. I just feel so refreshed and revived. I think we good on the intro, man. It is June 30th, 2023. You already know. What was my last episode, by the way? What was my date for my last episode? I don't have none of that information available right now. It's all good. It's cool. I feel like I gave y'all episode 35 about a week ago. Listen, we had a lot to talk about then, and we got some stuff to talk about now. So let's get into it, shall we? Titanic sub vessel. Subgate has certainly been the subject, over the past couple of days. And I definitely learned a lot about this situation since, everything kind of played out. Initially on episode 35, I was getting, that information. It was coming in real time. We didn't really have enough information. There wasn't enough research done, and we were kind of going off of speculation, right? ultimately, what ended up happening was your boy had to go do some research, and obviously more information, was made available. And I'm not gonna hold y'all up. What it appears to be here was, your man James Cameron of the no, that's the Titanic director James Cameron. We're gonna get to that. Bob Ballard and James Cameron, spoke out. Basically, in regards to the lazy search efforts that they felt, listen, man, listen. The end result was ultimately, unfortunately, these individuals did all pass away from an implosion. I'm not exactly quite 100% sure. Obviously, the sub, is it sub? What is the name of this device? It's not a submarine. It's not a submarine, right? The submersive, right? Which the main difference between the submarine and the submersive, right, is basically just the mechanism and how it is able to travel. A submersive, what I learned, is only able to go down. And I'm pretty sure we've all learned this information now, right? I feel like I'm harping on this just a little bit too much. And like I said, there will be no editing this episode. So let me just get right to it, right? They went in some janky ass submersible rather. And the man, I'm trying to see what is the individual's name. The CEO of the sub. I don't have his name currently in front of me. Hold on, let me just make sure I ain't. Father and son. Yeah, we gonna get to that. All right. Nonetheless, the CEO, right, the man who basically designed this submersible to make this travel, was basically a crazy mug. Like, listen, at the end of the day, the man was a risk taker, fam. Right? He was living life on the edge, and he was basically on a different type of time. A father and son ultimately came out and spoke about, the skepticism that they had in regards to this individual, because basically they were saying, basically his energy and his willingness to, take this trip to the bottom of the ocean, like, he was just a little bit too overzealous. They seen some red flags early, and they decided ultimately that we gonna fall back. We gonna go to the beach. Actually, we not really trying to go to the bottom of the ocean. We'll just be on the sand. We might pull up. We might watch. We'll stream and whatever we got to do to not make sure that we're in this and we end up going on this trip. So basically what they're saying is they knew. They kind of knew what time it was. They did their research. They said that this man did not even have FDA regulations on this submersible, which is like, okay. In other words, you really just was on a suicide mission. Ultimately is what I'm thinking. I had to see if there was anybody else who was able to actually complete this trip, and the director of the Titanic film, James Cameron, and another individual by the name of Bob Ballard, have both made this trip dozens of times, between the two of themselves, and they claim that there was no certification process for the submersible. That this guy, this CEO, who I don't have his name in front of me, unfortunately, but Google is only a click away. We can all do our research. This individual basically was, he was gambling with his life, and ultimately he took other people with him. Now, unfortunately, like I said, once again, prayers and condolences to all of the families involved, the individuals involved, and this is not something that we're making light of. What we are saying here is that there was just too many red flags here. And not to mention, all of this stuff got dragged out on mass media. Meanwhile, this shit took place the same day this shit went missing. So you trying to tell me y'all got us panicking? Y'all got families having false hope? You telling people that you hearing banging noises 1 minute, then the next minute you saying something else? And they dragged this thing out. And this is basically why, again, they were calling this lazy efforts, right? The two individuals, James Cameron and Bob Ballard, they were saying, listen, we kind of knew what time it was from the crib. They didn't even have to go and dive and do any research. They said that they knew exactly what happened the day of. So that's where we are now. This is kind of like old news now. the media gonna drag it out, so it's gonna kind of still feel relevant because I'm sure they still doing all of these pieces, these think pieces on it, and they gonna have a documentary and a movie probably on Netflix soon, and all of that. But we don't want to harp on this. This is negative energy. Listen, I don't need any more negative energy going into my weekend. It's definitely Friday. Yeah, I definitely you know. So are we gonna move on from that? I have limited time this episode. I don't want to harp on this too long. Like I said, he definitely flew out to meet the father and son. If I didn't get a chance to get this off, in an aircraft, in an experimental aircraft, just to show you basically the type of individual that we dealing with here. This is the type of cat we dealing with here, fam. Your man flew out to close the deal in an experimental aircraft, right? So he was just experimenting on shit, trying his luck, playing gambling with his life. Fam, you cannot gamble with your life. Life is fragile. I also want to point out that there were dozens of migrants who drowned in Greece that same day or the next day, if I'm not mistaken, right? And there wasn't really that much media coverage about them, right? So, that's leading to some, critics kind of questioning basically what the real motive of, the media is. But that's nothing new. Listen, man, we kind of seen this all play out before. I think I'm going to get off that now. Like I said, once again, rest in peace to everybody that was involved. This was truly, truly a very, very unfortunate situation, to say the least. But, once again, the water, listen, 70% of the ocean has not been seen, heard, or discovered, fam. I just don't feel like going to the bottom of the ocean with something that you created in your backyard is a good idea. I don't care how much money you have. We're gonna move on from that. Let me see what we got here. Dana White. UFC in serious talks with Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg about fighting in the UFC. I'm not really sure if I have anything on that. I seen it. I had to write it down. I definitely will be tuned in. I feel like if they do pull this off somehow, I feel like Dana White is a genius. And if we get Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk in a UFC cage, fam, on pay-per-view, I mean, listen. Then at the same time, I know that Dana White is a chess player, right? And this could just be a chess move, right? To kind of take some of the attention off of boxing. Boxing, they got some great events going on right now. And realistically, fam, like I said, it's June 30th, so you know what that means. We are less than a month away at this point. Errol Spence, Bud Crawford, enough said. So is this a chess move from Dana White? Because he also has an event on the very same night as the Errol Spence, Bud Crawford fight, which I'm not really sure why he did this, right? It's like, you gonna make me choose between Dustin Poirier versus Gaethje? I mean, listen, Bud Crawford and Spence got my money, on Saturday night. Listen, it is what it is. We've been waiting for this. So it's gonna be an exciting fight weekend, that weekend, to say the least. I don't want to harp on that for too long. We're gonna move on from that. And speaking of fighting, well, here we are again. Jim Jones versus Pusha T. So, on my last episode, we kind of caught wind of, the Jim Jones response. Jim Jones definitely did respond to Pusha T. Obviously, this has been something that has kind of been, brewing ever since Jim Jones kind of jumped out the window, no puns intended. Shout out to Ron Barnes, shout out to Harlem. Ron Browse, pardon self. I'm dehydrated. Listen. Like I said, man, this is just I can't leave my people out in the cold episode. Don't worry. We going to spin and we going to make it all make sense again, right? But your boy is beat right now, fam. I am literally potting through the wire, fam. That's going to have to be the title. Let's get back to Jim and Push, right? So this is the thing. Pusha T is in the lead right now, and that's just kind of where we at right now, right? Jim Jones responded. He did respond, and at the end of the day, salute to Jim Jones and salute to hip-hop at the end of the day, because this is really just a win for hip-hop, At the end of the day, hip-hop 50, this is kind of what the culture was built on, right? This is This is that energy. This is that battle rap energy. And at the end of the day, if you say something crazy about me, nah, I'm not gonna do no sucker shit. I'm not gonna try to take you out of resources. I'm not gonna try to like put you in a predicament where you have to, you know what I'm saying, where it's life and death. It's not really that serious. Let's get it on wax and let's just keep it sport at the end of the day. And that's kind of where we at right now. What I will say is this: Pusha's rollout at the fashion show, we already touched on that. Realistically, fam, I just feel like that's a body blow that's gonna be hard to recover from. But Jim Jones did respond, and he responded ironically on the same instrumental. We wasn't even really sure how he got the instrumental. Pusha T ain't even put that version out yet, fam. If he ain't release it, how Jim get it? Right? And he kind of did his little Harlem 1-2 step on it, and he did what he did on there. And like I said, once again, salute to Jim Jones, for the prompt response. But at the end of the day, fam, anybody that knows Pusha T kind of knew that, all right, you kind of hit him with a light jab. All right, well, we're expecting Pusha T to come back with a right hook, fam. And that is exactly what it appears that he did. I heard the response briefly. I didn't really get a chance to sit down with it, but from what I heard, this is not looking good for Jim Jones at all right now. He got Cam on there. You know what I'm saying? It says Pusha T featuring Cameron. I clicked on it immediately. Like, wait a minute. Hold on. So you trying to tell me? But I see what he did. And at the end of the day, we already knew this about Pusha T. Pusha T is a chess player. At the end of the day, like I said, Jim Jones, you threw a light jab. He came back with a right hook. And now Jim Jones is back on the clock, fam. He talked about, he was saying a lot. He said something. He mentioned balling. I mentioned balling on my last episode. I'm just saying, maybe Pusha T heard episode 35 is all I'm saying. He might have got a bar or two from my last episode, right? He was talking about his gang. Like, listen, I don't feel like Pusha T is backing down from this battle, is all I'm saying. And right now it's 2-1, and Jim Jones is on the clock. We are going to move forward from this because I am on the clock, right? And I'm going to try to get to episode, or rather topic 7. We potting through the wire right now. Ayo, man, Busta Rhymes BET Lifetime Achievement Award performance. Listen, man, I'm not even going to hold y'all up on this. It was terrible. The performance, let me be clear on what I'm saying here. Salute to Busta Rhymes, because he's absolutely 100% deserving of this Lifetime Achievement Award. And if Busta Rhymes is going to get a Lifetime Achievement Award, who better to present it than BET? After all, BET is what? Black entertainment, right? Busta Rhymes is black, and he's one of our better entertainers, right? So everything there made sense and lined up. The only issue I had with the performance was the audio. Much like I'm dealing with now, potting through the wire here. I'm potting through the iPhone headphones, fam. The wire moving. I don't really know if it's going to be static on this joint. I can't edit. I don't got my laptop. I don't got my tools right now. But it's okay. I'm not a network at the end of the day, fam. BET is a whole goddamn network that's been around since 1960, fam, or whatever it was. Why do y'all not have the audio right for the Busta Rhymes BET Lifetime Achievement Award, fam? What is going on? Bro, I have never seen Busta Rhymes in the middle of a performance. Busta Rhymes had to scream on the technicians, bro. Like, yo, what are y'all doing? Turn it up. He told them to turn it up. Because Busta Rhymes got that energy, and at the end of the day, fam, the very, very bare minimum that I need up here is for the audio and the mics to be working. They had the mics all low. Rod Nigga came out for the Touch It remix. You can't hear Rod. Busta Rhymes had to scream on people to tell them to turn up the stuff. They still ain't turn it up. The audio was terrible. And they basically botched and completely ruined an amazing Lifetime Achievement presentation that Busta Rhymes so greatly deserved. And what better year to receive it? 50th year of hip hop. You forget Busta Rhymes in all seriousness, because I'm kind of fooling. I do feel like the performance was they. I mean, listen, go back and watch it for yourself, man. He literally had to turn around and tell them to turn the goddamn mics up, fam. In the beginning, I'm listening like, hold on, what is something not really hitting right now? This is Busta up here. Is he tired? It wasn't him though. It was BET. And I'm just saying, like, didn't Tyler Perry just purchase this network? Tyler, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, fam? You are big budget, big production, big Hollywood. You got all these goddamn studios, fam. Send some goddamn equipment to your network, man. And let's upgrade this thing. BET, we got to get it together. The performance was horrible, but Busta Rhymes is a legend, though. And salute to him. You know, my man had to come out of character. Turn the music up. It's crazy. Turn me up, man. Turn me up. And at the end of the day, turn all the speculation and the rumors up. Because that is clearly what we are dealing with when it comes to the NBA right now. Now, listen. Realistically, fam, this time of the year, you can never really be up to date with the NBA news, just for the simple fact that things are happening every hour on the hour, fam. Brian Windhorst, he over here. You got Woj over there, Stephen A over there. Everybody's talking. Everybody's putting out different, rumors and different, a lot of speculative, situations and scenarios being painted. What I will say is this, off top, what I will say is this: Kyrie Irving is about to get his goddamn money, and I want to hit the air horn so bad. I do, man, but I can't right now. So right now, we would just have to give a hand clap to my guy Kyrie Irving, who is set to receive $50 million, whether he chooses to stay or leave Dallas, as a free agent, which he is eligible after 20 games, if I am not mistaken. Listen, man. And then he also seen a report that he's requesting that he gets his jersey number back, which is the number 11. And I'm just looking at all this, man. Like, isn't it just so crazy how like the tide would turn? You know what I'm saying? Here all of these goddamn reporters, the Brian Windhorst, the Stephen A. Smiths, all of them, Skip Shannon, all of the negative, pictures that were painted and everything that was said. At the end of the day, you can't stop what the universe got planned for somebody, man. Kyrie Irving about to get 50 mil. They can't even believe it. They sitting there like, they throwing they notes in the air. They can't believe that brother about to get his money. But at the end of the day, I don't really see what the real big shock is there. There's not a lot of players who are as skilled as Kyrie Irving is when it comes to the game of basketball. And I mean, that's just, it is what it is. Obviously, we haven't seen that skill manifest into what they're basically trying to pressure. And that is, he needs to be able to lead a team to a championship. At the end of the day, fam, so what, fam? Charles Barkley ain't get a championship, huh? A lot of players ain't get the big chip. T-Mac, AI, and the list goes on and on. There might be more great players without a ring than there are great players with a ring, right? So we not about to sit here and hold that to this man's legacy like he's still not great because of this. He also retweeted, I want to get to that after this. I'll do. But we definitely got to touch on Ice Cube and the Big Three right now. He definitely put out a message, and we will get to that after we continue with this. So what is going on? Dame to Miami? What's the deal here, man? I feel like 1 minute I'm hearing things about Dame going to Miami. They he definitely had a post on Instagram or something, to the effect of basically him sitting and eating dinner somewhere and Summertime or Will Smith, one of Will Smith's Miami songs, some song about Miami playing in the background. So basically what they're trying to say is, that was his way of basically trying to say, I'm kind of leaning towards Miami. So you got all that going on. Obviously they just got the young bull over there in Portland, Oregon. You know what I'm saying? They got the number 3 pick in Scoot Henderson, who is set to basically be the future of the franchise, And obviously Dame made it clear, So right now it's kind of like, but then ever since that, I wake up today to James Harden might be in Miami, fam. And this is exactly what I mean. I don't know what's about to happen. We don't know what's about to happen. We don't. Dame about to go to Miami. Is Dame going to Philly? If James Harden goes to Miami, I'm pretty sure that Dame isn't going to Miami too, right? I don't think they're in need of 2 guards of the caliber of Harden and Dame. It wouldn't hurt them, obviously. And if they could get them and basically keep their roster together, then that would be interesting, right? I'm more interested to see where Kyrie's going to end up. Listen, man, there's a lot to look forward to, obviously. When it comes to the NBA and next season, it's definitely shaping out to be an interesting one. I want to. Am I forgetting anything else? That was the main stuff. We already touched on KCP to Boston. trying to speed this thing up here. You know, where we at here? Kyrie, more than likely, what it's looking like though with Kyrie is he's gonna end up staying in Dallas. Listen, you said to get 50 mil, you could chill, my boy. I'm not really sure if he's in a rush to really make any moves right now. But then I did see something about him in Phoenix. So like I said, man, we will ultimately see where everybody lands when the season actually begins, right? There's no need to really speculate. We don't know what's about to happen yet, right? Brian Windhorst, you sweating out your damn suits and shit for what, bro? For what? Put the phone down and relax, my boy. Listen, Ice Cube might need to relax too. And ironically, I should have said chill. Damn, I missed the ball. I did. Sometimes I do that, but then I catch it right away. Ice Cube definitely need to chill out right now, fam. Well, this is the thing. He put out a message in regards to the NBA, basically trying to sabotage the big three. And listen, sabotage is has been a common theme for me personally over the course of 2 weeks. I am very aware of what sabotage means and basically how situations can play out to where an individual might feel this way. What I'm saying is this: is the NBA trying to sabotage the big three? Behind the scenes, he put out a message, on a video message on social media, and he basically made some some comments and some things that would basically insinuate that. Actually, he pretty much said exactly what I just said. He said the NBA is trying to sabotage me, fam, behind the scenes, and y'all know what y'all doing. And it was a very passionate video. And at the end of the day, listen, Ice Cube, Ice Cube, we know what Ice Cube's resume is, and we don't really need to, really elaborate on that. I feel like Ice Cube has a resume and a stake in our culture that obviously, one of our more credible, figures, right? When it comes to this thing called hip hop, in this space. And obviously he's done so much more than hip hop, over the years and, branching out. And I feel like the big three is a big deal. And I do feel like it's unfortunate that mass media, they don't really support the big three, man. And that was another thing that he mentioned. And he's basically saying, like, listen, man, it's because I'm over here trying to do things a certain way. Obviously people gonna always have an issue with something, man. When you try to go out and create something, at the end of the day, you become competition to some people, man. And realistically, you might just have your head down and you might just be on your grind. You might just be on your shit. You feel me? But just know and always know that at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing, somebody's always watching, man. And you are always making an impact in someone's life, for better or for worse. But just know you will always be watched, and there's somebody that will always feel, affected by some of the things that you do, and most importantly, the things that you say. I'm waiting to hear how Ice Cube explains all of this. Like I said, this might be my best or worst episode, fam. Realistically, fam, I'm about to be off this. I'm off this. Because I got to, where we at, 33 minutes. I've never potted on this. We're going to see how this all turns out. But before we get off of this, unfortunately, we do have to end this with some type of, with a downer. Justice for A.J. Owens. A.J. Owens is the mother of, the 14-year-old young man who, was harassed, by a neighbor, white woman, Susan Lornix. I don't have the pronunciation, and I don't care to. Susan Karen. Listen. At the end of the day, we're not here to make light of this situation. I do feel like this is unfortunate. There are no charges for Susan, who murdered the woman. Oh, actually, they charged her, but they charged her with manslaughter. Right? America has a problem. And that was what I wrote. But I still have more to say. And I do feel like, obviously, listen, man, sometimes situations, could take us to places that we ain't planning on going. But realistically, fam, when it comes to this justice system, right? And I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure where this took place. Actually, was this in Georgia or was this in Florida? I know that the stand your ground law is definitely in place in Florida and a couple of other places in the South. Listen, man, it's usually in the South where you see these type of situations unfold. Unfortunately, you know, we have a system. We have a system that is basically, built on racism, and that is just plain and simple, man. And we are going to continue to see situations like this play out. And I do feel like it's kind of crazy that, I put it to you like this: if the roles were reversed, we kind of all know what the outcome would have been. I don't feel like, you know, it's not necessarily always a black and white thing. I will say that because that's something that I had to learn my damn self. For the most part, it really just is a character thing at the end of the day, man. And you can't expect everybody to have the same character as you. And this is coming from somebody who just caught a case. So at the end of the day, take everything I'm saying right now with a grain of salt. I am looking for my exit of this episode. Like I said, I had to come and give it to y'all through the wire this week, real quick. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to put this out. Yes, I do. I'm going to put it out, fam. And this might be out either today or tomorrow. Realistically, fam, it don't matter. Listen, E.B.C.G, episode 36. I saw, conquered. I'm sweating crazy right now, fam. I need air, I need water, and a chiropractor, possibly. My body beat up, my dude. The jail is crazy, man. Jail is crazy, and I want to end it with this. Y'all need to stop. They in there feeding y'all some bullshit, and it truly is amazing to me that the recidivism rate is as high as it is, fam. I'm not sure what is keeping some of you dudes in these predicaments, fam. Listen, man, jail is nothing nice, fam. It is literally designed to break you down. Yeah. Break you down mentally, break you down physically, break you down spiritually, fam. All these damn CEOs walking through there, it is a fucking zoo. And realistically, fam, they doing the time just like the prisoners is doing the time, fam. Ain't nobody mentally right up in there, dog. You know what I'm saying? That is just not, it truly is, amazing to me to see it up close. It is, man. I read about it so much, and you hear about certain things, but when you're inside the belly of the beast, fam, and when you in the middle of them walls, and when you looking at a wall and you know for a fact it's nothing but another wall behind this with bars on it, then behind that is just another wall. You are literally trapped. Your mind start playing tricks on you. They not even giving you the right food. They in there giving you cheese, fam. Cheese, bread and cheese, fam. The bread is not even really. It's crumbling in your hand. It's damn near like a coffee cake. You know how like a coffee cake, when you go to grab a coffee cake, it'll just start crumbling. What the hell? And then milk. They in there feeding black people dairy. They know this food and this stuff is not good for our bodies, but at the end of the day, when something is designed to destroy, what do you expect? I was in that bitch requesting all type of. I'm like, fam, y'all don't have any granola? Where's the fruits in this motherfucker, fam? Then they got the audacity. They drinking the good water and shit. They giving us crystal geyser water. Like, I just seen you take the crystal geyser bottle and put it in the damn thing, fam. I'm not drinking crystal geyser water while you got a big ass 2-liter of Essentia water sitting in front of me. I like Essentia too, fam. Alright? Just because I got jammed up, right? And realistically, fam, this was a wrongful arrest, right? And like I said, we currently are in the middle of a case right now. I'm kind of fighting for my freedom right now. I don't want to elaborate too much more. The lawyers have told me to kind of, I can't say too much. But I do have my day in court. And I do strongly believe that justice will be served. And if it don't, I'm going to be back on here talking crazy. And realistically, I might maybe, listen, episode 36 is over. I'm done. I can't breathe. I'm dehydrated. Somehow I figured out how to get y'all this through the wire. I might go down for a week or two after this. I definitely have to I got to get some shit together, man. I'm moving. Things is happening in real time. It's a lot going on with me, but listen, at the end of the day, there's no stopping me. The E.B.C.G, keep watching me. Yeah. You're never dropping me, stepping over y'all like No, Mr. Miyagi. I lost it. I did. I fell off. Look what jail do to you, man. I done lost my bars, all type of shit, fam. My body beat up though. I'm not even gonna hold you, man. That, yeah, yeah. It was a, yeah, bro. Listen, I think that is the end of this episode. Yeah, all I'm gonna say is this, man. Y'all already know what it is. Keep it locked. E.B.C.G to the top. Willmatic TV. That was episode 36. I'm out this bitch. Till the next time. I'm gonna definitely keep y'all updated on, what we do next.